Have you ever noticed how some people can leave your life and somehow still take up space in your mind every single day? Not because they're still there, but because your brain never got the ending it wanted. I think a lot of people confuse closure with peace. They think, if I could just have one more conversation, one more explanation, one real apology, then I could finally move on. But most of the time, that conversation never comes. And even when it does, it usually doesn't fix what you thought it would. Because closure was never really about the answer. It's about relief. And your nervous system keeps chasing that relief like it's hidden inside another text message, another replayed conversation, another late night overthinking session. That's why people replay situations over and over in their head. What did they mean by that? Why did they do that? Did they ever even really care? Could I have handled it differently? Your brain keeps scanning the past, trying to solve something emotionally unfinished, because the human brain hates uncertainty, especially emotional uncertainty. And rejection creates obsession sometimes. And it's not because you're weak, and it's not because you're crazy. It's because your brain interprets emotional loss almost like danger. So instead of letting go, it keeps trying to figure it out. And that's why some people move on physically, but mentally, they're still sitting in conversations that happened 6 months ago. And the hard part is, sometimes there is no satisfying answer. Some people will never explain themselves. Some people genuinely lack emotional awareness. Some people just avoid accountability, and some people already moved on while you're still carrying the emotional weight of whatever happened. And that can really hurt, especially if you're the type of person who wants understanding, clarity, and honesty. But one thing I've been realizing lately is this. You can spend years chasing emotional closure from people who are emotionally unavailable. Years. Trying to squeeze peace out of someone who doesn't even have peace within themselves. And eventually, you have to decide if your healing is going to depend on another person finally becoming who you needed them to be. Because if it does, you hand them control over your nervous system. You hand them control over your peace and over your energy, and that's exhausting. I think real closure actually starts when you stop needing the explanation in order to move forward. Not because what happened was okay, and not because you suddenly stopped caring, because you finally realize your life cannot stay emotionally paused, waiting for someone to validate your pain. Sometimes closure is simply saying, yeah, that really hurt, and that really changed me, and I'm still choosing to move forward anyway. And that's where your power is. That's real power. Not pretending you never cared, not becoming cold and not shutting your emotions off, but learning how to stop emotionally circling around the same wound every single day. Because eventually overthinking becomes self-abandonment too. At some point, constantly revisiting the pain stops being processing and starts becoming emotional residency. You're moving in there. And meanwhile, your real life, it's still waiting for you. Okay, your health, your goals, your peace, your future, your relationships, your business, and your purpose, your actual life. This is where mastering your state really matters, because your state determines what you focus on, and what you focus on expands. If your brain stays locked onto rejection, betrayal, confusion, abandonment, your entire nervous system starts organizing around survival. But when you slowly begin redirecting your energy back into yourself, everything can change. Your sleep will change. Your confidence changes. Your decisions change. Your identity begins to change. You stop waking up emotionally attached to people who stopped choosing you a long time ago. And that might be the closest thing to closure There is. Not getting the explanation, but finally getting your energy back. So if you've been stuck replaying something lately, this is your reminder. You do not need one more conversation to start rebuilding your life. You do not need someone else's accountability to begin healing, and you do not need closure from everyone who hurt you. Sometimes peace begins the moment that you stop chasing it from other people. Master your state. Follow for more. I love you. Bye. If this helps shift your state even a little, there's another video right here that will take you deeper. And if you're working on mastering your mindset, your energy, your life, I'd love to have you here. So make sure you subscribe. How you think is how you feel, and how you think and feel is exactly what you get. So master your state, and what you seek will follow.